great. If only the Cowboys played all their games on the road. They scored 24 points in the fourth quarter at Washington Sunday to upset the Commanders 34-26. Dallas had 2 returns for touchdowns. One, a Cavante Turpin 99-yarder that put the Cowboys in control. They're 4-2 in away games, 0-5 at home. Jerry Jones had this take on embattled coach Mike McCarthy.
Listen, Mike McCarthy is one outstanding coach. I was listening to the game last night, watching it, and Aikman was talking about it, and he's reiterated that several times publicly. This Super Bowl winning coach, and Mike McCarthy has been there, done that. He's got great ideas. So bottom line is that no place in my body language or anything else have you seen indications about what we're going to be doing relative to this staff at the end of this year.
And this was Stephen A's initial reaction after hearing that sound from Jerry Jones this morning. As you may imagine, he had some thoughts afterwards.
This is what Jerry Jones does, and as things change, they remain the same. I'm just looking at him, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Have you seen how your team has looked this year? If you're saying what you're saying, he's basically admitting, well, it really ain't Mike McCarthy's fault, it's all mine. Knowing you ain't gonna fire yourself. Okay, fine. But damn it, didn't at least say that. To sit up there and act like the man comes with ideas. I mean, he's very creative. I mean, he brings a lot to the table. While we're seeing what we're seeing, his ego has gotten in the way, and this is the latest example because there is no reason on God's green earth today, this season, to be talking about your coach as if he should feel secure with his future, considering how your team has looked.
You say there's nothing in your body language, you didn't extend it. You could have easily, your body language could have said, here, Mike, here's a new 4 or 5 year deal. That's not what you did. You have him in a lame duck season. Now, you win a game against the Commanders, and now everything is right. I'm confused, Jerry. He knows if he were to fire Mike McCarthy, there's going to be a groundswell for him to go get a Coach Belichick. Jerry wants to win his way. Jerry knows if Coach Belichick comes in there and they were to win, Coach Belichick is going to get the credit.
I don't want to hear your body talk. I want to hear that money talk. Like, I don't want this body language. If you respect me, give me a piece of paper that got a comma on it and a bunch of zeros and a line where I can sign. So, like, his body language does suggest that he doesn't have faith in McCarthy. The problem with this team this year is Jerry Jones. It's not Mike McCarthy. It's the roster that they've given him. No one sends a coach out there with 0 years left on their contract unless you're planning on moving on from him.
All right, NFL insider Dan Graziano and NFL analyst Jeff Saturday join me now. So, Dan, I'm going to start with you. What are you hearing about McCarthy's future in Dallas beyond this season?
Yeah, I think, Christine, coming into this season, there was a sense that the Cowboys had to do something in terms of postseason success in order to ensure Mike McCarthy's return. He's in the final year of his contract, and to this point, he does not have an extension. Now, all of that said, Jerry Jones, well, first of all, he was asked about directly, could you see him getting an extension? And what's he supposed to say? Unless he's about to fire him today, he has to be supportive of him through the end of the season. So that's what you heard. But the Cowboys head coach job is a different kind of job, and we've talked about this multiple times. Jerry Jones is the face of that franchise. He attracts a great deal of attention. He likes it that way. He talks to the press after games before the head coach does. Any head coach he gets is going to have to be okay with that kind of setup. That's why talk of someone like Bill Belichick is probably far-fetched, because he's probably not going to want to come into that situation. So that said, if they like having Mike McCarthy around and they feel like he's done a good job on balance prior to this year, I don't think it's 100% out of the question that he's back. I think it's unlikely, but I certainly wouldn't expect Jerry Jones to say that in Week 13.
Yeah, that's also one of the reasons that a lot of people are thinking that Deion Sanders wouldn't be a good fit in Dallas. Okay, so Jeff, there's 6 games left on the Cowboys schedule before Jerry makes his final decision. What's your outlook for Dallas as McCarthy looks to finish strong?
You know, I think it's going to be a lot like what you saw in the Commanders game. They're going to play hard. They're going to do. I mean, I think McCarthy has earned that in that locker room. I think there's enough professional cachet in the room to give you good effort. They're just not very good. And so if the team plays well and doesn't self-destruct, you know, AKA what the Commanders did special teams wise, they'll find themselves in some games. They'll play some tight ones. They'll maybe win 1 more, 2 more, but ultimately this thing was over when Dak got injured, and everybody understood that. But they were already spiraling before this happened. My question to Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy would be, what's going to be different? Even if you're Mike McCarthy and you're sitting in this position, if you're going to go in there and redo a contract, it's how are we going to reconstruct this roster? What are you going to add? How are you going to help me put a competitive team on the field? Because we all knew in the preseason what this thing was going to look like. Now, probably not this bad, but we knew they wouldn't be nearly as competitive as the 12-win teams they put together before that. I think this is much bigger than Mike McCarthy, and it's going to play out, and I don't think it's going to be pretty at the end.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of things that they need to figure out in Dallas. But the one good thing is that Micah Parsons says they have a really good analyst. Jeff Saturday is holding a turkey, and he's also back with us to go through his key matchup ingredients. Let's start with the NFC North. Caleb Williams and the Bears facing the conference-leading Lions. Let's go through those.
Hey, Bears better protect Caleb Williams. I know Hutch is gone on Detroit, but he can still push the pocket inside. You're going to have to do a fantastic job of making sure you keep him protected, keep him upright. He's doing a much better job. Caleb Williams is scrambling around, making sure he's scrambling more effectively. He's not taking as many sacks. He took one bad sack against Minnesota in overtime. Didn't like that, but you can tell with Brown as his offensive coordinator, he's playing better. And then, but Detroit inside pass rushers, they can give you all kinds of grief. And then on the defensive side, you got to stop the run game. I don't care if it's Montgomery, Gibbs, whichever guy they're handing it to. This is a physical offensive line that wants to bludgeon you. They got to stop that. And then how about some inspired ball by the Giants? The Giants are playing the Cowboys. This for the Giants, they looked awful against Tampa. And when they benched Jones and they let him go, they sent a signal to the locker room. We've kind of given up. It looked like they gave up. Dayball and these guys are coaching for their jobs. They better play some inspired football, because when coaches get fired, players get fired. I did not like to see that effort. I want to see a better effort out of them against the Cowboys. And then let's finish it up. Dolphins at Green Bay. Dolphins have lost 11 straight when it's under 40 degrees. Guess what it's going to be? A balmy 29 degrees in Green Bay come Thanksgiving. This is not the most comfortable weather when you're talking about the Dolphins. However, they're explosive, and it's a must-win. So these guys got to push the ball down the field, whether it's Hill, whether it's Waddle, these guys have got to push the ball, make explosive plays to give themselves a chance against Green Bay, who looked extremely physical against San Francisco last weekend. Can't wait to watch this one.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I'm a cold or warm weather person. I know another person that spent a lot of time in Miami. That's Seth Greenberg, and I feel like he has something to say to you.
My man, Saturday, two things. You're going to look good in Carolina blue if they decide to make you the next head coach. I got a bigger question for you. Like your compatriots in the morning. They fire every single coach in the NFL. The last time I checked, Nick Sirianni, he was fired about 5 times. His life is pretty good right now. 43-19. Can you protect the coaches just a little bit?
Hey, Seth, go back, coach. Go back and watch the tape. Never from this mouth. I'm always fighting these dudes off. It's always less replay.
From game analysis to the hottest topics in Dallas. If you're a true Cowboys fan, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Your support is crucial in helping us reach our goal of 12,000 subscribers, so help us grow. And as always, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the latest Cowboys drama? Drop a comment below and let's chat. I've got to be honest with you, folks. I'm getting really worried about Jerry Jones and the direction he's taking the Cowboys. It reminds me of another franchise, Detroit. Anyone? That's right, the team with the head coach who's now getting all the attention up there. And no, I'm not saying Jerry will pull a Detroit, but there's no denying that the decisions being made could set the Cowboys back. But before we dive into that, I've gotta ask, do you think Jerry Jones is starting to lose his grip on this team? Let me know in the poll above. Is Jerry making the right moves, or is he just delusional? This season, for the Dallas Cowboys, has been one of the most unpredictable and, frankly, frustrating. Think about it, this team had everything we wanted, right? The new guys, the rookies, all the hype, the all-in mentality. But what happened? Did they live up to the expectations? Let's break it down. We had Doc and ceedee superstars, no doubt. But the defense, my goodness, they were electric. Micah Parsons, Dorrance Armstrong, and a defense that could go toe-to-toe with the best of them, and yet, after a solid regular season, It all crumbled in the playoffs against the Green Bay Packers. But before we keep going, don't forget to subscribe if you want to keep up with all the latest Cowboys content. We're here, breaking down every moment as it happens. Now, let's talk about the offseason. What a disaster it's been, right? I mean, seriously, Jerry Jones had a golden opportunity to make some key moves, but what did he do? He delayed everything. Dak Prescott's contract, CeeDee Lamb's extension, it was like watching someone play catch-up the whole time. And then they let a guy like Derrick Henry slip away. Can you believe that? Derrick Henry, a future Hall of Famer, said he wanted to play for the Cowboys, and what did we do? Nothing, no phone calls, no attempts, nada. Just left that chance on the table while the rest of the league made moves. Engagement question: do you think the Cowboys should have signed Derrick Henry? Vote in the poll and tell me why or why not in the comments below. This is a big one, folks, and now we get to the big one, the coaching. Mike McCarthy, we all know what's been happening here, don't we? Poor decision-making, bad game management, it's just been painful to watch. There were countless moments this season where you just knew something was off. The fourth down decisions, the lack of trust in certain players, and the infamous challenge calls, or should I say, lack of challenge calls? Whether it's the loss to the 49ers or that bizarre fake punt, McCarthy has repeatedly shown that he might not be the guy to get this team over the hump. If you're just tuning in, remember to subscribe and enable the notification bell so you don't miss a single update on what's happening with the Cowboys. So, what does the future hold for the Cowboys? After all the missed opportunities and poor decisions, are we really ready for another season of close, but no cigar? If you ask me, I think it's time for some big changes, but you know what? Even though it seems like we're heading towards another disappointing end, there's hope. Maybe it's time for Jerry to finally listen to the fans and make some real changes, including the head coach. But will he? And who could replace Mike McCarthy if he's out? I want to know what you think. Should the Cowboys fire Mike McCarthy? Vote in the poll now and leave your thoughts in the comments. Let's get this conversation started. Alright, Cowboys Nation, that's a wrap for today. But before you go, hit that subscribe button and make sure to turn on notifications so you stay updated on all things Dallas Cowboys. Remember, your subscription helps us reach our goal of 12,000 subscribers, and we're almost there. Let's make it happen together. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Go Cowboys!